Hello and welcome back to The Give and Go. I am your host, Reynoso, here by myself. Sunday Service, a service in which we go through the past week's community polls and I vote on each singular poll as well as looking at the comments that you guys, the subscribers, left on them. Now, while I look through these comments, I'm going to be surfing for potentially my favorite comment of the week. And if you get that title, then I don't know, you won't get anything yet. But for now, you'll get the privilege of knowing that you were the first YouTube comment of the week on the Give and Go's Sunday Service. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first poll that I have up is who is the best World Cup winner of the past 4 tournaments? We have 2022 Argentina, 2018 France, 2014 Germany, and 2010 Spain. Very interested to see what you guys said because I think for me, I think when I list these 4 in order, it probably goes 4th place, 2014 Germany, 3rd place, 2018 France, 2nd place, 2022 Argentina, and 1st place, 2010 Spain. That's where I'm going. This is so tough to rank, man, because all of these are so even, in my opinion. They're so tight. I think there's a genuine argument to make about Germany being the best team here. I think every single one of these teams has a fair chance at being that first #1 voted team. So I'm interested to see what you guys say. I want to submit my vote as 2010 Spain. What do we have? Interesting. 2022 Argentina at #1 with 51% of votes. That Argentine bias got to be in here, folks. It's got to be in here. Let's be honest. I know the Argentines follow us because of the coverage we gave them throughout the World Cup process. The Argentines are in attendance, producer Rudd. They're here. And I love it. The thing is, I can agree with it. I can because, like I said, every single team does have a true argument to be made as the best team in this bracket. But if we go off the votes, then in 4th place, France would be in 4th place, Germany in 3rd, Spain in 2nd, Argentina in 1st. Let's look at the comments. I want to see what the people said on this one. Nico D'Angelo says, I am shocked. 2010 Spain had Iniesta, Xavi, Casillas, Puyol, Ramos, Busquets, Xabi Alonso, David Villa, David Silva, Fabregas, and so on. I agree, bro. I agree. I'm a little shocked that Argentina won it by that much. And I think that's why this comment is one of the most upvoted comments in the comment section. 234 upvotes, man. I agree. That Spain squad was ridiculously stacked. I don't think they got their love in this poll. Momo Crafter 2013 says Germany 2014 was one of the strongest teams this century. I agree, man. I really do. A machine when it came to that tournament with their famous result of 7-1 over Brazil in the semifinals. Like, they were killers, bro. They were killers. Truth Over Falsehood says Spain 2008 to 2012, the best national team of all time. Ball possession of dominance, pure inteligencia. I agree, man. I really do. And then lastly, I'll read this comment right here from AOC BBL. Did everyone already forget how dominant 2010 Spain was, winning everything in sight with ease? No team compares to the best World Cup squad of all time. And I think I am with the comments on this one. I'm a little shocked, but like I said earlier, I would have gone 2010 Spain. But hey, 2022 Argentina won, and so I'll give them their credit. Which is currently the best federation out of these 3? AFC, CONCACAF, CAF. So we have Asian football, North American football, and African football. Folks, I think this one's pretty easy. I think it's pretty clear. I think it showed in the World Cup in 2022. The ranking should go like this. At number 3, CONCACAF. At number 2, AFC. And at number 1, Africa. A team like Morocco making it to the semifinals of the World Cup. The first African team to make it that deep into the tournament. For me, that singular performance is enough to state the level that CAF is at right now, the talent that they have individually on a lot of these squads as well. I think Africa has the edge over AFC right now, but CONCACAF is not in that conversation. They're not. The farthest run we made was a round of 16 appearance by the USA, eventually losing 3-1 to the Netherlands. CAF football, African football, is number 1 in my opinion, and so I'm going to vote CAF. Wow. I think we have some bias in these polls, producer Rudd. I think we have some bias in these polls. 54% to CONCACAF? What are y'all smoking, man? That Jamaican reefer must be hitting y'all real well, bro. Because what does CONCACAF have to offer in comparison to these two other regions, man? I'm shocked. I'm shocked because I expect a little bit more, folks. I expect a little bit more. How the hell is CONCACAF number one here, man? How? Maybe if the USA lives up to their potential and continues going off of that trajectory that they're building right now, maybe then will they be in this conversation. But for now, man, looking at the level of quality with Mexico, Panama, Jamaica, I'm not seeing much in comparison to Africa with teams like Senegal, Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, and then AFC having a wonderful World Cup with Japan, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, having really good positive moments in the tournament. I'm surprised. I really am, and I hope the comments can defend us the way they did in the last poll. Lawrence Babe says, I'm a Mexico fan, but CAF is obvious. Teams like Senegal, Egypt, and Morocco would mop the floor with us. Rejoice! Rejoice! The Give and Go viewers do know what they're talking about. The top teams from this confederation are close. USA, Japan, Morocco, etc. But CAF has a lot more depth. I'd favor the 9th best CAF team over the 9th best AFC or CONCACAF team. Completely agree. Completely agree. The depth, the level of quality, even in those lower level teams in Africa, they still have some amazing players that I think overall is much better than what AFC and CONCACAF have to offer at that stage. Tanvir Singh says, bruh, I'm a U.S. fan, and this is egregious. Egregious. I completely agree. And lastly, Kaiju Feed says, who's voting North America over Africa? Africa is so clear. Completely agree. I'm glad that once again, the voters backed us up. I really am. We're doing good so far. We're doing good. Next one up, and I'm excited for this one because when I made this poll, I was like, I really do wonder who are people going to vote for? We have, which was the better save? Emi Martinez versus France in the 2022 FIFA World Cup final, or Iker Casillas versus Netherlands in the 2010 World Cup final? Two iconic saves that literally salvaged both sides and led them to lifting that prestigious trophy. Emi Martinez was ridiculous. Last minute of the game, Kolo Muani volleys it, hits it well, but Martinez just puts that leg out there and saves it. Whereas Iker Casillas was on a one-on-one against Robin. It looked destined to go into the back of the net, and Casillas made one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic, save in Spain's history. Which one was better, though? I think this one's clear. It has to be Emi Martinez. It has to be. The stakes, the stage that was set when the save was made. The fact that if Kolo Muani had hit it right, France would have pulled off the most incredible comeback in extra time, and Argentina, as well as Messi, would not have lifted the World Cup trophy. France would have essentially stolen the trophy in the last second in one of the most dramatic finishes we've ever seen in the game of football. Whereas for Spain and Netherlands, there's still a lot of football to be played. It was 0-0, went into extra time, and this didn't happen in the final minute. I believe it happened like around the 60th or 70th. The stakes were high, but still not as high as that Argentina versus France moment. So for me, I'm voting Emi Martinez versus France. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's completely where I'm at. It's like 75-25 is how I see this situation. Kaiju Feed says, Dibu's save was harder than Casillas as he had to react quicker. Robin was one-on-one with Casillas, whereas Kolo Muani hit it first time on the volley. That's basically exactly what I just said. I completely agree with you, brother. Completely. A Wood Bay says, I'm not even a football fan, just a casual World Cup enjoyer, and I still remember Emi's save. That was legendary. It really was a moment. It was a moment of legends, a moment of star status. And I think that's why Dibu's going to go down in Argentina's history for what he did. Dawn9939 says, Emi Martinez's save, no question. It was in the final minute of the game, in extra time, in one of the most insane finals of all time. This goes down as the greatest save in history for me. And I think that's where I'm at too. I'm right there with you, brother. I think this is arguably the greatest save in the history of football. At the end of the day, which do you ultimately prefer? Club football or international football? I think this one's easy for me. It's international football. International football all day. The moments, the emotions, the passion that can be produced from watching and experiencing international football is one of a kind. The fact that you can have family members that don't even watch soccer congregate together to sit around a couch and enjoy a match of football and see the biggest players vie for a trophy like the World Cup, that's one of a kind, man. That really is. And to me, I'm always going to value that more than club football. Club football is personal to me. That's like what I do on the day-to-day. It's almost like my 9-to-5 job type of shit. But international football, that's when I put on my nice suit. That's when I put on my nice little tie. That's when I get the chips out, when I get the beers out, and I have family come over, and we all sit down and watch some footy. And so for that, I personally pick international football, but I don't mind if you go club because of the quality, because of the competition, the level of play. It's just higher in club football. And if you like that more than passion and emotion, then that's fair. That truly is fair because you're seeing the highest level of football that can be displayed. So I'm going international football. How do the results look? Wow. Honestly, I'm a little surprised because I thought most of our viewers or subscribers came from the World Cup coverage that we did. And so I thought we'd have more international football lovers. But we have 67%, almost exactly 2/3, voting for club football. And that's fair. Like I said, I don't mind that at all. I want to see the comments. I want to see what people said to back themselves up. Next tracker says, nothing beats the feeling of excitement a World Cup brings. Completely agree, man. I really do agree with that. The excitement, the emotions, it's one of a kind. Aveen B says, nothing can replace the World Cup. It's the only tournament that gets so many families and friends together. Hey, that's what I said. That's what I was trying to say. That's funny. Omar Farouk says, when my favorite team plays, I am mostly a calm person. When my country plays, I shout at every move and go crazy after every goal. Dude, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. I'm not seeing a single argument for club football yet. I want to see a comment that defends club football. Let's see. Producer Run and I just searched for a full minute to find one comment that defends club football, and we found it. Hello IKR says, only true football fans will choose club football over international football because the real love for football starts from watching weekend club football matches. Interesting. I get it. That routine, almost like going to church. Like I said, we're at Sunday service right now, folks. I get it. I can see that point of view. But I also think a lot of people earn that love, gain that love for the game through those amazing World Cup moments that they saw growing up. Prime Zlatan Ibrahimovic versus prime Harry Kane. This one is interesting, folks. We're talking about a guy who just retired in Zlatan Ibrahimovic, a legend of the game, a guy that succeeded in almost every single league he played, and a lethal scorer at all levels and facets of the game. Harry Kane is in the middle of his career right now, looking to make a big move, looking to pursue some trophies, but has shown his class and his level at goal scoring in the Premier League. Set to eventually become the highest goal scoring player in the Prem if he stays in the league. A player that I think has for a long time been underrated, underappreciated, mainly because of the argument of him not winning a single trophy in his career. I think that has played against him a lot in his narrative. But when you look at how he plays, when you look at his link-up play, his build-up play, his ability to send a very good, well-timed through ball, his counter-attacking ability, his ability to handle and dribble the ball, and then most of all, his finishing. He would 100% be known as the best finisher in football right now if it wasn't for the existence of Erling Haaland. It's literally just them two at the top of the game right now. And I think that when I compare the height that Harry Kane has reached individually, not as a collective unit, not as part of the team that he's in or the trophies that he's been pursuing, but as the man that he is himself, you give him the ball in a certain area, his ability to finish that opportunity, I think I have more of a reliability, more of a confidence in Harry Kane than Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So I'm actually going to go Harry Kane on this one, but I won't be surprised if people go Zlatan because of the character, the personality, and just what he's known for in the genesis of football. I think if we're just talking about prime, the best of both players, I think Harry Kane wins this one. Yeah, that's kind of what I saw happening here. I hope that so far the comment section has defended my take in every single one of these. I hope it happens again, but I'm a little scared this time around. I am. Joe Swag, the first comment we see says, Kane is very underappreciated. The English media is to blame for him being hated, but he's such a great player. I fucking agree, man. I really do agree with that statement right there. I really do. Fishy Fish says, Zlatan never really had a noticeable crazy prime, but he is consistent and his longevity is insane. I completely agree with that too. He has had a insane just career arc overall. And so I get why people voted for him. I do, but we're talking about peaks here. We're talking about the best of the best. I think Harry Kane edges Zlatan. El Chuchu Brave says, I realize how underrated Kane has been, but I can't look past Zlatan at Inter and PSG. Something else. And then lastly, Juan Martin says, Zlatan was already a legend before Cristiano and Messi. He brought back glory to every team he was in. He showed the world that age is nothing but a number. For him anyway. And that's true because Zlatan at 40 years old was still bagging goals in Serie A. He was still a crucial part of AC Milan when they went on to win the Scudetto, I think 2 years ago now. He still played a very good role for his teams in his late 30s. So that's nuts, man. That really is nuts. And if we're talking about the better career, it's 100% Zlatan. But if we're talking about the best player, the better peak, better player at their prime, I'm staying where I'm staying put. It's Harry Kane. Which of these 4 signings will be the most impactful? We have Declan Rice to Arsenal, Jude Bellingham to Real Madrid, Dominique Szoboszlai to Liverpool, and Sandro Tonali to Newcastle. Dominique Szoboszlai is the dream midfielder that Liverpool has wanted, but will he be as impactful? I'm going to say no in comparison to these other 4 players. Sandro Tonali, I actually do think will provide a huge impetus defensively in that midfield for Newcastle. But will he be as impactful as these other players? I'm going to say no. And so it's down to Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham. Man, this is tough. This is really tough. But I do think that Jude has a little bit more of a risk at being rotated out because of the quality of midfielders that Real Madrid has. And Modric, Tchouaméni, Kroos. You could maybe say Arda Güler. Dani Ceballos is still part of this team. And then Federico Valverde as well. I think that I'm going to go Declan Rice on this one because I think Declan Rice will play the role of a captain as well as just a sturdy, week in, week out, consistently reliable player for an Arsenal team that will try to maintain the success from the year prior. And I think that's going to play a bigger impact than Jude Bellingham in this first year specifically. So I'm actually going to go Dex here. Give me Declan Rice. 18%. Yeah, I can see it. I can see why people would vote Jude Bellingham. I know a lot of Madrid fans follow us. Declan Rice being in second place, I think is enough to justify my take. But Jude Bellingham overwhelmingly wins this poll at 56%. Toba Epe Benoire says, with the options Real Madrid have in midfield, many say they didn't need to sign Jude Bellingham. For me, Jude Bellingham going to Real Madrid was a right move for the football club, but because they're in a bit of a transition right now, it means that they have moved on from Toni Kroos and Luka Modric because both are 33 and 37 respectively, and along with Eduardo Camavinga, Valverde, Tchouaméni, and Arda Güler, they have a midfield set for the next decade. He's only 20 years old, and he'll up his game even further at Real Madrid and will be one of the best midfielders of the generation if he develops at a crazy rate there. They have a player who will give them 6 to 7 years of top football and even more than that. We have found our comment of the week right here, folks. He's changing my mind. I agree. You changed my mind. I'm an open-minded man. I really am. I'll listen out. I hear people out, and I've switched my mind. Forget Declan Rice. Jude Bellingham will be the biggest impactful summer signing that we will see this year. Incredible comment. I love it, man. Thank you for that comment. I'm hyped for some reason. Vikal PHB Arwar says, when you realize how much Liverpool's next season depends on McAllister and Szoboszlai. That's true. Like I said, the midfield need that Liverpool had going into this offseason was massive. And if we're just talking about singular level of impactfulness, there is an argument to be made for either one of those Liverpool midfielders because they alone can switch up this Liverpool team after the abysmal season they just had. They can infiltrate the team and lead them to a fucking Champions League final again, in my opinion. Balo Tubi says, how is Tonali not winning this? And I can see this man's confusion, or at least I understand his concern because I think people don't realize the level of importance that Tonali will actually play for that Newcastle midfield. If you have Tonali and that Newcastle midfield playing the role of the destroyer, a box-to-box midfielder that is just wrecking havoc every single week, alongside Bruno Guimaraes, who can be very creative and offensive, but also hold his own in the midfield, and then Joelinton as well, That matters, man. That means something. That's very, very good. And this is an amazing signing by Newcastle. There's an argument here. There really is. But I don't think people are seeing it because Newcastle just isn't as notable as Real Madrid right now. Tad H. Gallen says Declan Rice to Arsenal could be the most impactful one for me. He could become their captain. And with more squad depth in case of injury, Arsenal can probably do better next season. I'm right there with you too. I think Declan Rice, all of these will play a very important role for their teams. But Declan Rice specifically, I just see him as so reliable. And at 24 years old, we know what he is, and he's only going to continue to improve. And Arsenal really needed him, in my opinion. And I think that the fact that they got them is a huge, huge move. And we'll see them reap the rewards of that this upcoming season. All right, and last and final poll we have. Who was the worst signing between these two players? I was curious to see where people landed on this. Mason Mount to Manchester United for 55 million euros or Kai Havertz to Arsenal for 65 million euros? Or do you completely disagree and just say, hey, neither? I think both of them will thrive. I actually will not go with that third option because I think one of these two will not thrive at their newest club. I don't know. I think Kai Havertz is such an enigma. Saltero and I talked about it on our transfer talk last week. If he's used correctly, I could see him actually playing a very crucial role for Arsenal in the offensive side of the game. For Mason Mount, I'm a little confused. I really am. I don't know if I see where he fits best and if Manchester United actually needed to make this signing. I think there's a little bit more concern for me with Mason Mount and the form that he was in this past season and the role he played for Chelsea. Will that translate over to Manchester United? I'm ultimately going to say no. I think I'm going to vote for Mason Mount on this one. So what do we have? Oh, okay. Mason Mount, the lowest one here. People are saying he's the most secure signing out of these two. And okay, I'll hear them out. I'm open to changing my mind. Kai Havertz to Arsenal for 47%. Nuts. That's pretty nuts, but I get it. And lastly, neither. I think both will thrive. 39%. Neither. I think both will thrive. Clown emoji. Hey, they knew. They knew I was trying to clown, bro. I was trying to clown. Sfish Okumani says, Mason Mount has a lot to prove since he was being benched a lot. I believe he'll find his form. He helped Chelsea a lot with Tuchel. I think he can be better. It's a very positive outlook. I can see it. Shanuzan says, in my opinion, people are undermining Arteta. Mikel Arteta is not a fool. If he has given this much money for Kai Havertz, he most likely has a pretty good plan in place, and so is Arsenal's board for believing him. That's actually where I'm at. That's why I'm surprised that Kai got 47% of the votes, because I do think there's a lot to play with here in terms of Arteta and how he approaches the game, as well as Kai Havertz and kind of that free-flowing system that Arteta has in place when it comes to their offense. I could see Kai Havertz actually really finding his role here versus Chelsea, where it was just straight up, you're our number 9. You're the guy that we're just going to put up there and rely on for goals. And Kai Havertz could not become that, only scoring, I think, 7 goals in back-to-back seasons. Like, he's not that guy. He needs to have a little bit more liberty and creative freedom when he's on the ball. And if Arsenal gives it to him, then I think we'll see him actually thrive. And so with that, those are the Give and Go community polls results of the week. I'm going to be trying to do this every single week, just checking back in on what you guys voted on this week and reading these comments, because I really do love seeing football discourse at its best. And I think we have it with our community, man. So once again, thank you guys for voting, and shout out to the man that won the comment of the week right here. Make sure to comment on this video to make sure you saw this, man. I don't know what reward we'll give you, but for now, you'll get this moment right here. I'm Reynoso, here with the Give and Go, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.